Now, what exactly can you do that can aid you? You have vocal cords, do you not? Use them. Go on. What are you waiting for? I'm not stopping you. Be my guest. Oh, why are you not saying anything? I've granted you a second chance at life, and you're refusing to take it. You did not make so much as a noise when I caught you. Not only that, you've stopped moving. You're pliant, dead weight in my grasp. I can feel it, you know. You're scared. You're petrified. And yet... Oh, unless you find some sick satisfaction in me touching you. That could never be the case. Could it? This is your home. Someone would have heard you screaming for help. Terror and desperation amplify one's voice to an unimaginable heights. But no, you're limp in my arms. You're like stone. Are you not moving because you're hoping that I will just simply go away? I hope you realize how futile that is. Are you even listening to me? I know you're still alive. You didn't die from shock. Perish the thought. Oh, would you look at that? You have chosen to grace me with your voice. And to my chagrin, you harbor quite the mouth. I care because if someone's speaking to you, you listen. And if this is some form of unfounded confidence you humans tend to hold over things you do not understand, it's dreadfully misguided. Word of advice, you should consider being confident towards those who don't have the capacity or the means to kill you in an instant. Keep this up, and I'll show you just how many nerves I can strike. I also feel emotion, whether you choose to believe that or not. I've always found it deeply concerning when humans assume creatures that exist beyond a human's realm of understanding aren't familiar with feelings. I feel more than you could ever imagine. What do I feel? Anger, of course. It is anger that riddles every corner of my being. Deep, insatiable anger. It's violence, it's hate, and it howls at me to ravage your life force. This feeling is innate, and yet I'm rebelling against it. Well, since you're so curious, your life was meant to end the moment I had laid my hands on you. When I grabbed you from behind, covered your eyes, and pulled you back into my embrace, that was the beginning of the end for you. Or rather, that was supposed to be. Though, seeing how you reacted and how receptive you are, I realize I have never had another human being like this before. Alive, pliant, and willing. In that split second, I thought to myself, why let this opportunity go to waste? I have questions that long for answers, and well, you're here, unmoving and listening to me so obediently. You seem like the perfect candidate. You don't have much of a choice, unfortunately. Either you humor me with answers, or you begin praying for a peaceful afterlife. Your choice, little one. Good. Alright. Do you believe in revenge? You've gone silent. Oh, but you were so talkative before. What happened? Well, it couldn't have been something I said. It was a simple question that called for a simple answer. There really is nothing to hide. Yes, my hands are covering your eyes, but is this stopping you from answering me? I don't assume you'd rather I remove them from obscuring your vision. Why? Another word of advice. Something I feel that I've been too generous with. Going silent when you have the intention of persuading someone isn't a very good way of getting them to do what you want. However, perhaps this will create a mutual understanding between us. There is a possibility that you would feel more inclined to answer my question. I will not remove my hands entirely. Just one. The other will remain over your eyes, but it is better than both of my hands. How? Well, if we were to agree to these terms, it would be harder for me to gouge both your eyes out from their sockets with only one hand, would it not? Yes, harder, but not impossible. It's a matter of choosing the lesser of the two evils. At least you know how to compromise. What am I doing? Touching you? What of it? That shouldn't be surprising. I'm not exactly alive, so of course my hand is cold. But you had to have known that, right? You know many things about me, little one, don't you? The books, the paranormal hunting equipment. You take your job very seriously. You give off the impression of experience in this field, and the fact that you're still alive is proof that you must be good at what you do. Is that why you're so willing to ease into my presence like this? Because you know the territory? Silence will only get you so far. You are unbelievably warm. When I touch you, it's as if your skin is on fire. It's... No, I do not particularly enjoy fire. Yet another thing you already know about me. But no, this fire is different. It's alive, breathing rather than draining the room of air. It's controlled and maintained under your thin sheet of skin. And oh, it is so terribly thin. Your blood is circulating just underneath my fingertips, racing to stabilize your heartbeat that's tearing hell for leather. Even with my hand moving away from your chest, I can feel your pulse pounding against your ribcage and veins. Oh, Investigator, your body screams its attraction to the idea of putting your heart out on display for me. How tantalizing. If I were beside myself, I would sink my teeth in and my mouth would fill with sweet ambrosia. If I were to place my hand right here, next to your heart, it would be so easy to reach inside and... What? Your muscles are untensing. Your body is relaxing? Wait. Are you implying that I did that on purpose? I had no intention of relaxing you when my hand began roaming your body like this. You are a strange one, aren't you? Being put to ease by a spirit threatening your life. But I suppose it comes with the territory of being a paranormal investigator. You're all a little sick in the head, aren't you? I mean, no point in denying it now. Look at the position you're in at the moment. You between my legs, your back pressed against my chest, your head lolling onto my shoulder as my hand travels into unmarked territory. The way you're trying to mask your interest. Is nothing about this arrangement out of the ordinary to you? You're so accepting of this. All of this. And you shouldn't be. Why wouldn't I be this sure? Everything that's happened thus far tonight hasn't proven to me wrong otherwise. You did not recoil at my touch. In fact, I would go as far as you say you enjoyed it. You like playing with death in this way. It excites you. I excite you. Oh, and since I have no shame in being so bold, I've come to the conclusion that you'd do anything I'd ask of you. In a heartbeat, tripping over yourself. Even... well, I know you would try your hardest to make sure you please me with what I asked. Isn't that right, Investigator? I'm simply stating the truth. An oh-so-curious detective such as yourself has found themselves at an impasse. Such a stonewalled composure has devolved into someone who falls prey in delving into their sick little fantasies. That's what all of this is, Investigator. It's sick. You're sick, and what you feel is twisted. It's just as bad as I am. Does that unsettle you? The idea of the two of us being similar to each other. How long are you going to keep your composure like this? Even after the lovely conversation the two of us have had with each other, you still refuse to even speak to me when it matters. Why is that? There's nothing you have to hide behind those words of yours, is there? No, of course not. You'd never hide anything from me, would you? You'd be completely honest with me. Why wouldn't you be? You're being quite obvious in the way you're laying in my arms. You're rigid, you're unyielding, you have given every impression that you hate this, and that you hate me. So what else is there to hide? Unless the cogs in that sick mind of yours are turning and turning, and the more your mind travels, the more you have to lie about. Those tremors. You couldn't be trembling now, could you? No, that couldn't possibly be it. It's my hand, but it's cold, right? I mean, there can't be any other reason for this reaction. You know, I asked you a question some time ago, if you remember. It was a rather important question. In all honesty, it's the entire reason you're still alive right now. But you've taken a long time to answer. All you've been doing is laying in my arms, trembling and acting as if you're barely alive. All the while I've been talking and talking and talking without end. Something I'm sure you're enjoying. Oh, Investigator, surely your silence hasn't been on purpose. I knew your mind was diseased with an incurable sickness, but I didn't realize it was this severe. You enjoy my voice. You enjoy how much I talk, and you wanted to hear more and more of it. You selfish little thing. Oh, I see. You've been using me. It's a rather horrifying realization. Nobody wants to feel as though their only purpose is accommodating to someone else's needs. But that's exactly what you've been doing to me. Being used is not something I take lightly. Unjust acts like this one only prove how deserving you are all for retribution. Breaks my heart, Investigator. When you wake up the next morning, I sincerely hope that no one else falls prey to your manipulative prowess. Well, since you forgot the question, I guess I'll ask one more time. Do you believe in revenge? No? Okay. To that I say that you are very lucky then. Lucky to have lived a life where you've never been pushed to the very edge. When sanity bends, so do your morals. But a righteous, pure of heart paranormal investigator would never know what that's like. To be taken advantage of is to have your entire being beaten, bruised, and mauled. But vengeance makes one feel in control again. It mirrors that of an aphrodisiac, but granting one of their humanity instead of the heights of rapture. It's necessary. Don't you dare judge me for it. If choosing peace were so easy, the paranormal wouldn't exist. The mortal world and its inherent chaos must shoulder at least some responsibility. I suggest that you all in this realm do some soul searching for yourself. That's all I have to ask. For now. Regardless of everything, you did what I asked. Suppose you aren't as stiff as I thought you were. Perhaps the same won't be said the next time we met. Now or in the future. If your wards didn't keep me out before, what makes you think they'll keep me out in the future? And do you really think so low of me? There will be a next time, as I still have questions. Consider this a blessing that I am willing to keep you alive for this long. Yes. You will study your books and do your research, as expected of you. Think of our next meeting as a test of your skills. Really, I am doing you a favor. Well, that's enough talking now. I've given you enough of my time. Be prepared for the future, and hopefully, you do not test my limits as far as you did tonight. Until next time, Investigator. And just remember, I'll always be watching. Goodbye.